Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to the membership conferring ceremony here today at our home in Kildare Street. Welcome to all our new members and their guests. This week we'll confer 145 new members from 23 different countries, and we're delighted to meet you all here today. This building captures and nurtures our heritage. Our Heritage Centre has attained museum status, an award that recognises our dedication to caring for our collections to the highest standards. We have ambitious plans to grow our museum and to open our rich heritage and medical history increasingly to the public and a wider audience. All around you there are the portraits, sculptures and items that reflect our central role in the history of medicine in Ireland and abroad. Today you join their ranks and join all of us on your lifelong journey and career through medicine. This is an exciting moment in your careers and one that you've earned through your hard work, determination and dedication, as well as the support of those around you. And now, before declaring the ceremony of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland open, may I introduce the platform party. Dr. Lucy Duly, the Institute of Medicine Board Trainee Representative. Dr. Rishi Rupnarine Singh, Director of Training of the Institute of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Professor Ed McCone, Dean of the Institute of Medicine. Dr. Diarmuid O'Shea, President of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. Dr. Helen Enright, Fellow of the College. Professor Trevor Duffy, Director of Healthcare Leadership. Ms. Harriet Wheelock, Mace Bearer and Keeper of Collections. And I'm Professor Michael Keane, Registrar of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. This is a meeting of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland for the purpose of conferring membership, which I now declare open. With your permission, President, I will now proceed with the conferring ceremony.
Please proceed, Michael.
I'll now call on Professor Trevor Duffy, Director of Healthcare Leadership, to address you.
Thanks, Michael. So maybe to break the atmosphere and give yourselves a big clap on the back, we'll have our first round of applause of the evening. So I'm not going to delay. I have one message to leave you with, which I hope will become clear in a couple of minutes. But really, this is a superb day. You've worked incredibly hard. And I think there isn't a single person on the platform party here who isn't just a little bit jealous of you again. This day, it's the membership conferring ceremony. It's not a graduation. I think it's really important to reflect on that for a minute. This is the beginning of your involvement with the college here. You have now become members. And really what's important from my perspective, it's very easy to consider the college as a training body, a place of education, and that your tenure or your links finish when you get your final certificate or CCST. But it couldn't be further from the truth. You'll be a trainee for perhaps 10 years. You'll be a doctor, we hope, for at least 40 years. And we hope you'll be a member of this college for the rest of your career or for the rest of your life. And that's important because you're all still very young. I'm allowed to say that. And it's not so long ago you signed up for medical school not having any great idea of what was ahead of you. I think the past couple of years, internship, BST, you've all grown up incredibly fast. You've faced choices, difficult decisions in the wee hours of the night that none of your old classmates, peers, friends have any familiarity with. And there's no doubting you've chosen a very difficult profession. And it will always be difficult. And the purpose of the college here is this is your professional home. When you have those dark days in the future, when you have those difficult times, and also when you have things to celebrate like the membership, the college is your home. This is where you come to meet your own professional peers and you create a family for the rest of your career. And with that, I leave you with one last message. The college cannot provide that support to you, to us, without your involvement. So again, this is a membership ceremony and we ask you to stay involved with the college. You'll drift, but always reflect back and see what you can do for the college. Okay, so congratulations again, and one last round of applause for those behind. So this is your professional home, your professional family, but you can't forget the family who brought you here today. So maybe a round of applause for those who supported you. Thank you.
I now call on Dr. Lucy Duly, the MRCPI Trainees Committee representative, to address you.
Thank you, President, Fellows and members. As the Institute of Medicine Board Trainee Rep of the MRCPI, it is my honour, my privilege and my duty to represent you and to work on your behalf with the College to improve the quality of our medical education and of the training we receive. I am sincerely delighted to be here in person today to extend my heartfelt congratulations on your remarkable accomplishment of achieving membership of this college. It wasn't so long ago that I was sitting at your place, and it is still fresh in my memory the number of hours and months and years of hard work and efforts to reach this goal. The effort you've put into your life and all the sacrifices you've made have paid off, and you should be really proud of yourselves and your accomplishments. As members of the MRCPI, you have distinguished yourselves as the brightest and best physicians of your generation. You stand apart as a group of doctors that will lead the profession for the generation to come. Your graduation today leads you one step closer to a specialisation in your field of interest and towards being a leader within our healthcare service, and marks a significant milestone in your career progression and your success. Today must be a joyful day, a day of celebration, to be shared with your family, friends and peer fellows. But please remember, this is not just an end, it's a turning point. From now on, you will have a shared responsibility in shaping our profession, deciding its evolution and supporting and being the active creator of all the necessary progress to serve at the best of our possibilities, this country and all the needs of the citizens at the most vulnerable points in their lives. You will have the moral duty to put the talents and skills you have proven through many challenges and adversity to teach and to guide your junior colleagues and to ensure they achieve and maintain the same standards of clinical and academic excellence that you yourselves have demonstrated. In this room, we all know these exams weren't easy, and many of you were tested to your very limit. But they are a goal worth achieving, so please guide your fellow doctors to the same success that you now so deservedly enjoy. I'm delighted to see that so many of you have friends and family members here today. The support of your loved ones has got you here in no small measure, and sharing and rejoicing with you and for your success is the highest form of love and teamwork. Finally, now that the exams are over, you no doubt have some more spare time on your hands. I suggest that you use this period to take stock of your achievement and to think what direction you would like your career to take. With that bit of extra time you have, I'd also invite you and encourage you to join us in the Trainees Committee in working with MRCPI to bring about positive changes that will benefit you and the doctors who follow in your footsteps. I'm sure over your engagement so far with the college, you've all seen what works well, but also the things that we could all do better. Now that you have both the insight and the authority to make a change, I really urge you all to work with me to keep making this college a better place for trainees, so we can be proud to be members of this noble institution, proud of the fact that we can be part of receiving and providing world-class medical training, proud of the fact that we will always strive for better, and proud of the fact that we in this room are constantly working to safeguard the healthcare of the people of Ireland. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much.
I'll now ask all the licentiates and members-elect to stand and read with me the declaration for membership, which can be found in your booklet. Okay, so we'll read this together. I do hereby solemnly and sincerely promise that I will observe and obey the statutes, bylaws and regulations of this college relating to members, and will submit to such penalties as may be lawfully imposed for any neglect or infringement of them, including the erasure of my name from the list of members and the surrender of my diploma of membership received from the College. I further promise and declare that I will, to the best of my ability, do all things in the practice of my profession for the honour of the College and the good of the public. I further promise and declare that I will not keep open shop for the sale of medicines or endeavour to obtain practice or to attract public notice by any unworthy means, nor will I either permit or sanction the use of my name by any other person for such purpose or in connection with any secret remedy. And in case of any doubt relative to the true meaning of this engagement, I promise to submit to the judgment of the College. I now call upon the President, Dr. Diarmuid O'Shea, to formally admit the new licentiates and members elect collectively to membership of the College.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as President, I hereby admit you individually and collectively as members of the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland. Congratulations to each of you.
Congratulations to our new members. You may all be seated, and I'll invite each new member to come forward and receive your parchment as your name is called. Graduating the Specialty of Paediatrics, we now call forward Marwa Mustafa Musa Abbas. In the Specialty of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Fatima Abdul Salam Abdallah. Brikna Ayub. Kinza Zaman. Laim Sultan Qassam Saeed. Max Alexander Waterstone. In the Specialty of General Medicine, Muhammad Ahmad. Ramsha Ghazal Arshad. Zishan Ayaz. Hoei Wen Chang. Caitlin Cinnamon. Anna Corby. Sive Dalton. Daniel Delaney. Musaf Mustafa Ahmad Al-Tab. Kate Flynn. Christine Gaffney. Dominika Grezagorczak. Subtain Hassan. Slania Marie Healy. Shirak Higazi. Lorna Hallcroft. Imad Muhammad Ahmad Al-Badi Ibrahim. Ariba Khan, Jessica McSweeney, Angus McCarthy, Katie McDermott, Catherine MacDonald, Ciara McNulty, Dara Megan, Philip Vincent Mulvey, Alana Murray, Circa Jane Murray, Ayman Mustafa, Christine O'Connor, Aideen O'Keefe, Anne O'Toole, Leslie O'Brien, Ciara O'Donoghue, Ella Patchett, Federica Piazza, Gazanfar Iqbal Rana, Sanya Samad, Muhammad Atif Sarwar, Fraz Anwar Siddiqui, Gul Zaman, Muhammad Zishan. The following candidates are graduating in absentia, and I'll call their names. Graduating in the Specialty of General Medicine, you have Maram Khalid Alaman Khalid, MD Sohail Khan, Hussein Abdal Halim Hussein Muhammad, Muhammad Sabir Muhammad El Shmawi, Mariam Muhammad Musa Yusuf, Jamal Nasir, Ian O'Keefe, Ihsanullah Rejar, Nusaiba Muhammad Abdallah Sabil, Hibatala Muhammad Almadi Bashra Muhammad Asid, Muhammad Usman Taj, Ali Zulkarnain. The Specialty of Obstetrics and Gynecology, Nagwa Ibrahim Ahmad Abdul Halim, Sarah Mamdou Muhammad Ahmed, Mimuna Ayman, Isra Abbas Abdul Gadir Ali, Shaista Jabin, Sunita, Yulduz Pulatova, Dalia Dawood Salman Al-Humari, Sonalika Suresh. In the Specialty Pediatrics, Anthony Rowan, Saima Zeb Shakik. I now call on one of our new members, Dr. Caitlin Cinnamon, to address you on behalf of the College.
Thank you. Aginúsla, Utron an Cláiste, Covalti agus Bail Nua Ella. Is mór an anordum a bheith ira leiriters on na Bail Nua an cláiste le linn na clúirithe seo. Thank you, President, fellows and members. It's an enormous pleasure to join you in celebrating this significant achievement and to speak on behalf of my fellow new members. I promise to keep this brief, partially for courtesy and partially because I'm at risk of podium-induced tachycardia. So, today marks a milestone built on perseverance and dedication. Occasions such as this often turn into a long list of thank yous, but it is important to remember those who have supported us and acknowledge them. Medicine has always been a profoundly collective profession. Dr. Paul Kalanithi, in his brilliant work When Breath Becomes Air, puts it better than I ever could. Human knowledge is never contained in one person. It grows from the relationships we create between each other and the world, and still, it is never complete. From the moment we stepped onto the wards as medical students all those years ago, our learning has been shaped by our consultants, SPRs, and registrars. They're the ones who taught us the clinical application of the textbook, and of course, the important fact that patients don't really tend to follow the textbook. It's these people that we have to thank for their continuing guidance and support and helping us see the wood from the trees. We acknowledge our peers in medicine, our colleagues, our friends, and now fellow members. Those that provided another set of eyes for a tricky cannula, a second for CPR, a group member for MRCPI preparation, and the guaranteed group therapy session disguised as a 4 a.m. coffee in the res. We dragged each other through the question banks and the often multiple exam attempts, and it's just brilliant to be standing here on the other side of one another. We now carry a responsibility to support the generation that will follow us, the ones who will soon be anxiously refreshing their emails, waiting for exam results, a particular email from Ger Kearns, just as we once did. We owe them the same mentorship, encouragement, and the occasional reality check that brought us here today. None of us stand here solely on our own efforts. Families, partners, children, friends, and colleagues have lifted us, fed us, tolerated us, and convincingly pretended that they enjoy hearing about electrolyte abnormalities. Their support has been our quiet infrastructure, invisible to the examiners, but indispensable to us. I'm delighted to stand here with you and be able to definitively answer the question of, and how many exams do you have left? Today is as much their achievement and your achievement as it is our own. But of course, the most important group that we must thank are our patients. They are our greatest teachers, generous with their stories, tolerant with our questions, and remarkably accommodating during those slightly awkward moments where you're preparing for the clinicals. What they may not realise is the profound impact that they have on us. We carry their stories with us throughout our careers. We remember their names, their families, the challenges they faced, and the courage they show. Their experiences shape our instincts, our empathy, and our practice far more than any textbook chapter ever could. I know that a lot of you share the same sentiment when I say I'll always remember a patient's story before I'll remember what the textbook said. And it's because of what they have taught us that we go on to treat others more wisely, more compassionately, and more humanely. They are and always will remain at the very centre of our journey as physicians. As new members today, it's not just an arrival, it's an invitation to echo what's been said before. An invitation to make the college our professional home, to contribute, not only consume, to teach, not only learn, to shape, not only inherit. The Royal College is not an institution preserved in glass. It's a living, breathing, organic community that grows stronger when each one of us gets involved, whether through education, advocacy, research, or simply showing up with ideas and your sleeves rolled up. I'll finish with a quote from Anton Chekhov, who somehow managed to find the time to be both a doctor and a prolific writer. He said, "Knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice." Today, we pause and we celebrate what we've learned and achieved. Tomorrow, we return to the wards, the clinics, the communities, where that knowledge becomes action, and where we will continue learning for the rest of our careers. Congratulations to all my fellow new members. Thank you to everybody who helped get us here. And to the college, we are honoured to join your ranks. Grev Magwiv.
Thank you very much. I now call on our President, Dr. Dermot O'Shea, to address you.
So,
Kathleen, really well done. That was a beautiful speech. I think I'd never heard of podium-induced tachycardia before. The man sitting directly behind me in that painting is Dominic Corrigan of Corrigan's Pulse fame, so he may have heard about it. But I think the hardest speech given actually today is the one you give, because you've never done it before, you'll never do it again, and you've represented the new members of this college and captured everything that I would have been interested in hearing, both as an achievement for you and the new members, and also as a challenge for all of us as doctors and how we become involved in the college. And Trevor has said some of that, and Lucy has said it as well. So, tá fáilte mór an seo go dtí coláiste ríga leis na hÉireann. Guests, members, fellows, on behalf of the college officers and the platform party, a huge welcome and congratulations to you all. Over the course of my own career, the day I got the membership is a day that sticks out for me and still stands out in my head. And I remember it with pride. Like you mentioning and Lucy mentioning, I thought I was finished with exams. I was wrong about that one. I did feel I had to nail my colours to the mast and choose the direction of travel. And for some people that's very clear, and for others it isn't, but there really isn't a hurry or a rush about it. But what had happened after getting the membership was the choice was now mine. So while today is about you, it is also about those who have supported you along the way, whoever they are and wherever they are now. And today also marks one of those really big milestones in your career. It's hard-earned, and it's an achievement we celebrate with you. And you should be justly very proud of yourselves. And Trevor, sort of alluded to this in the role the college plays in a real and positive way, sustaining your passion and your enthusiasm and your interest in medicine throughout the course of your career, as well as your own well-being, will be challenged in the years ahead. And it'll be your connection with each other, your connection with your colleagues and this college, and how you avail of the structured training and of the lifelong learning and the continuous professional development that will empower and sustain you throughout the course of your careers. This is our professional home, and it was founded by the man in the middle there, John Stern, at the age of 30 in 1654. And he did it to do three things: to improve the training of doctors, to improve patient care, and as a place for people to meet. And they're all still very relevant things in the world we live in today. And now, 400 years later, we're now the largest and oldest postgraduate training body in the country, with the Institute of Medicine, Pediatrics, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Pathology, Public Health and Occupational Medicine. And we've grown into a globally connected community of over 15,000 doctors in around 95 countries around the world. And Michael said 145 new members joining today from 23 countries. And I think we hugely underestimate the contribution we make both in Ireland and around the world. Practicing medicine in a changing world and modern medicine in a modern world is not without its challenges. And it's really important that we protect the core lice, which is the science of medicine, and the coram lice, which is the care in medicine. And weaving into your own practice the core values, and I'm sure you'll have others you would add to the list I'm going to give you now, but compassion, openness, kindness, empathy, and understanding for your patients, for each other, will empower you to make an important difference to the health and well-being of your patients, the healthcare system you work in, and as importantly, to yourselves. And they are values that cannot be replaced by a computer or technology. You are, and Lucy said this, Trevor said it, and Caitlin said it, you are the future leaders who will shape the healthcare service delivery over the years and decades to come. So you've got to be an active contributor and become involved, not just in your profession, but in the college. And this year we had Mary Robinson, who's a former president of this country, and she became the 9th recipient of the Stern Medal here in the college. Now, she's many things and has done many things in her life, but in the interview she reminded us about the importance of long-term decision-making and long-term leadership. And she emphasised that medicine was quintessentially about leadership and action. And she challenged each of us to foster and be part of that growing leadership movement in our global medical community. And we asked her, well, how do you go about doing that? And she had a couple of suggestions. But among them, she talked about the importance of being considerate, collaborative, and collegial with the people you work with. Be the culture change that you want to see in healthcare. Understand and accept that during the course of your career there will be setbacks, be it exams, interviews, patient outcomes. But understand that reviewing and processing and learning from those experiences makes you a better doctor. It should go without saying that you have a duty to look after yourself and those around you. So you must always focus on your own personal health and well-being and not be afraid occasionally to put yourself first. And then one lady wrote into me, I'm a geriatrician, I work in a day hospital and a hospital not a million miles away from here. She wrote in a little letter, and one of the bits of advice on it was, look after your own career. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Now, I've reflected on that line a lot over the course of my career. And you don't often control how your career goes, but if you keep your head down and keep working with the patient in mind, you can't go wrong. And I think the other thing is just never underestimate the impact you can have on an individual or on a team. So my invitation to you is a bit like what Lucy said. It's look after, as well as looking after yourself in your own career, equip yourself with the skills that will empower you to lead and progress in health and the delivery of care for the patients you're looking after. But you've also got to give a bit of time to training the next generation of doctors. And you do that by becoming further involved in the college. Because for the college to remain at the forefront of professional advocacy and public advocacy, we need you. And I guess the other thing is, if you're not prepared to become involved like that, who are you expecting to do it for you? So you've got to constructively support the people who actually step into those leadership roles, because they're not easy and they can be difficult places to be. What I do recognise is that we build on the shoulders of giants. And if you look around, and Trevor said this at the different portraits and paintings and pictures that are in this building, there's a gentleman sitting out in the Graves Hall called Samuel Gordon. And he was the gentleman who, along with a couple of other people in this college, brought in the Enabling Act in 1877, which enabled women practice medicine for the first time in Europe. Now, interestingly, he had 9 daughters. So I don't know if that had anything to do with his decision-making, but that's a fact. The other person you'll see hidden in the corridors here, not hidden in one of the rooms, is Kathleen Lynn. And Kathleen Lynn was a really interesting lady. She was a suffragette, a politician, a nationalist, a remarkable lady, and a paediatrician. And after the Civil War, and it's worth reading about if you don't know about it, but after the Civil War, she lived her life by the credo of being brave, being different, challenging conventional wisdom, but her modus operandi was to collaborate. And among the things she really demonstrated was the influence that one person can have. One person can make a big difference. One person can positively affect a team and culture within a group. And if each of you walks out of the room this evening choosing to be that person, your positive contribution will have a ripple-out effect. So before I finish, I have a few important thank yous to say. And I know when I name a load of people, I leave out a whole load of people. So obviously the people I've left out are the people I thank the most. But firstly, I want to acknowledge everybody on the platform party here today who've taken time out of their busy schedules and, like yourselves, beaten the traffic and the absence of a Lewis, etc. in today. While it may not look it, once upon a time, a long time ago, they got their membership. And they stepped into leadership roles over the course of their careers. And they are here today supporting you and what you're doing. So from the officers of the college, and Michael and myself, just a big thank you to the platform party for being here. Exams and boards don't happen without people leading them. So Ono Coron in paediatrics, Mary Higgins in obstetrics, Vera Keatings in the Institute of Medicine, Dara Whelan, Louise Goyette, Jimmerth Murnock and Marisa Prendergast. They're all people in the college who, along with the nearly 170 staff we have in the college, support us through our training, our careers, and that 40 years of lifelong learning that Trevor was talking about. And they're very dedicated and very professional in the way they go about their jobs for us. So in the room today, we've got Isabella, Gabriella, and Harriet Wheelock, who are representing the members, along the core staff, along with the people who you met coming in this evening. So a huge thank you to all of them on our behalf. patiently sitting quietly in the Shane room next door to you here are a whole lot of other people who couldn't get into this room. So to those in that room and to everybody in here, really, and this has been said before, and I loved the way you put it, Caitlin, that the support behind you sometimes is invisible to the examiners, what you said, but essential to the people that are sitting here in the front of the room. So again, to those of you in the back of the room and in the Shane room, thank you for the support you've given the new members we have here today and for all the support you give them. So maybe an applause again for them. So, at the core, the Royal College of Physicians of Ireland provides the highest standard and quality of training, lifelong education and advocacy across 40 years of our careers. And this translates into the best quality of care for the patients we look after. But the future of the college and the future of the profession depends on what you choose to do in the years ahead. As the years fly by, and they do fly by, the college can always be a reference point for your continued professional excellence as you deliver care to the patients you look after and as you lead healthcare delivery. Over the course of each of your careers, as you bring honour to yourself, to your families, and to our profession, I sincerely hope that you fulfil all of your dreams and ambitions. My congratulations to each of you on this important step on getting your membership. Goraf Bila Mahagwif as Cluj Eishlet de Hortum, Kogorlicus, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, Dermot. That completes the conferring ceremony for membership. So we would ask guests to remain in the Corrigan Hall while the group photograph for new members takes place in the main entrance hall, and a reception will follow the group photograph in the Graves Hall.